business while I exercise. Oops.
I am good at only one thing, business. For the last 30 years, I've built 19 companies and invested in 78 startups. People ask me every day to be their mentor and to help them. And they've even offered me £10,000 to help them just for one day in business. I don't want to charge people for help. I want to give you the knowledge for free. And today, I'm going to give you everything you need to start a business, to grow a business, to maintain a business, and to sell a business. But if you can't stay on this video for 5 minutes without clicking off, I've got some news for you. You're probably not going to make it. I'm now going to list all the things I'm going to go through in the next 45 minutes to change your mindset, give you the tools you need to be successful, and hopefully create new pathways in your brain that give you the chance to be successful. The very thing that the education system does not want you to be is free. Working for yourself, controlling your own destiny. So today we're going to cover how to start a business with no money, how to win, and the secret to it all in business, how to lose, important, how to do a mind map, which is much better than a business plan, much more liquid, how to find purpose, very important, to motivate you to get up in the morning, to motivate your team to get up in the morning, and to motivate customers to want to work with you, how to find a co-founder, something that I personally believe is like having a relationship partnership. It can change everything if you have the right co-founder and can give you that accountability that we all need. How to sell, everybody can sell. There's no such thing as people that are good at selling and people that aren't good at selling. They're just people that haven't been taught the system of selling.
I love the packing of it. Awesome, dude. That's fantastic. So I'm going to work out, but I'm also going to listen to podcasts about business because I need to learn how to start a business. So this is now an extension of DadBod called Gym Crush. I just watch YouTube videos of smart people and exercise. I'm glad you enjoyed it, your mom.
Let's start scratch.
How to build a company brand, because I honestly think value comes from building a brand, not a business. I'm going to go into what a brand is and how to build one. How to build personal brand, which in this day and age, without doubt, is vital. You can't really build a company today without having a personal brand, and I'll get into personal brand on a public stage, and personal brand within your industry. How to hire, how to grow, how to build, how to go global, which is easier than it sounds, and probably very important to you, not stuck in one market and leaving yourself vulnerable. How to get a mentor, there is a way to do it, and nearly nobody does it. And how to avoid big mistakes, but accept luck into your life. Make luck happen in your life. And finally, how equity works and how to sell your business. At the end of this video, you will know everything that's taken me 35 years to know. You will be changed if you watch this video, and I promise you at the end of it, it will cost you nothing and you'll never regret it. How to start. Now most people tell you to start a business where you have an idea. That's not where a business starts. A business starts with a feeling, an instinct that perhaps you need to make a change, and then applying yourself to learning what is the best way to build something that you love.
What does your video sound like? Go to artlist.io.
No, I don't want to go to artlist.io. I just started the video.
This is not the real world. This is your creation. The stories you tell.
They only gave me like 12 seconds of that video. What the heck?
Choose. Soundtrack your videos with Artlist. Be creative. With unlimited music and sound effects and a license that covers everything. Join the next generation of creators. Go to Artlist now and start creating without
You go to
limits.
Artlist now.
Now everybody tells.
Let's see. Wolfane, hola, ¿cómo está? Está bien. My Spanish is incredibly limited, friend. What do I know? Mainly know all the foods, because I like Mexican food. That's about it. Ads! YouTube Premium is a good investment. I just don't want to give YouTube any money until they've given me a livable wage, and we're not there yet. But maybe I should think about it. Alright. I believe it is a good... Actually, it is a good investment, because I get a portion of premium from you. Like, anytime people attend the live that have premium, I get like a slice of a slice of a slice. So, thank you. Alright, let's keep listening to Mr. Simon. You get YouTube Music. How's it compare to Spotify? Alright, we got run
the starting a business is filling a market gap or finding a niche. That is not true. One of my most successful early companies was a company called Fluid. This company turned into one of the biggest agencies in Asia, which I sold to PricewaterhouseCoopers for more money than I'll ever need. And when I launched that company, there was 500 other businesses doing almost exactly the same. So how did I manage to win? I didn't have an original idea like everybody tells you you've got to have to start a business. You don't start with an original idea. You start with what you like doing.
15 of these.
Now, I love helping businesses and people succeed. I love marketing. I could spend all day long studying and understanding marketing. Every time someone launches a new business, I want to understand how they made it successful. I'm obsessed. I enjoy it. It's my hobby. There is no work-life balance. It's only syncing up your life with your business. And so I believe the first step in starting a business is following your passions. Now, everybody tells you that that's not the way to start a business because often your passions initially don't necessarily generate revenue. But that's because you haven't applied a business mindset to what you love. So I love marketing. And I started a creative agency called Fluid that helped people come up with marketing ideas to make their business successful. Now, there were many companies doing it, but not many of these people doing it loved it like I did. So I evolved my marketing abilities, pushed the boundaries of what was possible, used new technologies like, at the time, email marketing and direct marketing that no one else was doing because I was obsessed with what is the latest thing. And for you, the way you do it is you've got to write down what you like doing and you've got to write down what you don't like doing. What you love doing, you've got to get really good at it. And what you don't like doing, you've got to outsource and not do it. The school system has taught you the wrong thing, that if you're not good at something, you need to spend more time getting better at it. That is a lie. You've got to spend more time getting good at the thing you love to do. Get obsessed by it. And that's actually where a business idea begins. Because once you have figured out what you love doing, the next step is the idea. Now again, people will tell you that you need to come up with an original idea. That's not true. The second thing is when it comes to an idea, you can actually combine forces with other people. So back to my example, when I launched Fluid, I loved marketing. And I met someone who could take my marketing ideas and turn them into graphic illustrations and brilliant presentations and abilities to help that company in a visual way understand my idea.
Pause. Better has more songs faster? What? And on 6 YouTube accounts. So YouTube Premium actually provides better song selection. That is so strange. Huh? What? What do you mean songs faster? Does it just play the music quicker? But anyway, friends, welcome to DadBod, and apparently Gym Crush is a new thing I'm trying. I found for the last couple of weeks during my lifts, I would just listen to entrepreneurs talking about how to start a business because I'm probably going to start a business in order to stay in Japan, like a startup. So figured if I'm going to learn, you might as well learn. And I didn't want to keep my need for learning from allowing me to go live and connect with all of you while I exercise. So this is like a low tech, listen to someone talk, exercise kind of deal. So let me keep it going. But it's always fun. It downloads faster. But why would you download the music? Don't you just stream it on your phone? Are you like worried about data? There's people that pay for data. I don't know. I'm unlimited. Let's see.
So I teamed up with her and created a 50-50 business partner. I'll come on to equity later in the video. It was literally the springboard to one of the most successful companies in Asia in this space. So the key is not coming up with an original idea and trying to do it all on your own. The key is coming up with something you love and what you do.
We did 8
Perhaps
hours yesterday.
there's a gap
So
within
we'll
your
take.
ability to execute on what you love, find a partner. So for example, if you love writing, then write a book. And maybe you need to find a partner that can publish that book, or find a company that will publish that book, or get someone to help you, like an agent, find someone that will publish that book. And that's where it really begins. In the idea phase, it's got to link to your passion. And I'll come on to purpose later, but it's key. You won't be able to follow through and probably won't be successful if you're not willing to do the thing that you're doing more often and all the time compared to other people. So, you figured out what you love doing, and now you have an idea. Now, the idea itself can evolve. From my point of view, when I started what I'm doing today, which is a platform to help you for free, the first thing I did was in fact a podcast. So the step after idea is step one, execution. And execution involves what is the first thing you can do to make your business idea come to life. And for me, in my example, it was a podcast. But for you, it might be a blog. It might be a LinkedIn post. It might be setting up a social media handle and starting to post up your photography. Whatever the first step execution is, do not make it too hard for yourself. In my case, sitting down, interviewing people I found interesting, recording it and putting it up would serve the purpose of giving people mentorship in a podcast for free, which was my first step in my mission in my recent business. So all I really did was get a microphone, sit down and record conversations. Now, if you go back and look at those very early podcasts, execution was not brilliant. The guests were good, the execution was not great. I had a rubbish microphone, I had a rubbish camera, and I slowly improved. And step one is come up with a simple execution plan. Step two in starting the business is consider where the revenue is going to come from. Now, some people say you need this within the idea phase, and yes, you can put it within the idea
interesting.
phase, but sometimes revenue doesn't actually make it
stay in this
clear
house.
until
Yeah.
you start. So, an example.
Yeah, we'll
if
move
you're
to
a
something
photographer
different,
and you
but
think you're gonna
staying
make
in
more
Japan's
money
the main
charging by
mission,
the
so
hour for
we'll
your
see how it all
photography
works
skills,
out.
you're probably
Should be
limiting
fun.
yourself, right? So you're probably better off initially taking pictures of things you love and putting them up online and seeing if people would buy them, seeing if people would license the pictures, experimenting with revenue models and seeing what sticks. Sure, maybe people will book you by the hour, but why would you start off with a revenue model that limits yourself? So I think when building a business, the thing to really think about is not necessarily revenue, but experimenting with different ways to make money from the thing that you are doing. So again, when I launched Fluid, most companies charge by the hour for their marketing consultancy service. We didn't. We charged by the outcome of what we did. So if we helped the company be successful, sell more product, we took a percentage of those sales. Now that was not part of most companies' business models because most people start with an idea and then they do a revenue model and then they start. The famous quote is, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Hey baby girl's not feeling good, so I'm gonna grab her some medicine really quick. I'll be right back.
Like a boxer, you want to see what is going to be the best punch combination for you to make your business work. And finally, when starting a business, step three is you've got to make sure your purpose is strong. Now, you've made sure that you enjoy what you do, and that's great, because that's going to help you get up in the morning. But actually, I believe new businesses today need to think about what they're going to do to make a difference in the world. How are you going to make sure that people want to work with you? How are you going to make sure that what you're doing isn't just for profit? Because if it's just for profit, everybody that works for you is going to want more money. Everybody that's working with you is going to want to pay you less. If you have a purpose bigger than yourself, and identify that purpose and install it in your business, I promise you, you won't be managing people anymore. One of the biggest stresses of building a company. You won't have to manage people because you will only have to manage purpose. Now, I'm going to go into more depth how this all works, but a lot of what I've talked about here already has cost you no money. You haven't had to spend any money. Now, even if your idea is to launch an app that costs £1 million to develop, start off with a service business. Start off with a revenue-based model that can get you there. So an example is Airbnb. When they launched, they actually sold cereal boxes at conventions. It was enough to be similar to Airbnb because when the first accommodation Airbnb ever sold was at conventions. People would go to see Obama speak, go and see different politicians speak at these conventions, and they would rent out rooms on Airbnb later. But initially, they sold cereal boxes, Obama reels, at this event. At these events to get to know their customers, connect with their customers, have a conversation with their customers and make money. And that is the money they use to initially get the business going. So I will come on to other steps later now in the video about raising money and other ways to do this. But if you do these first few things, your business is up and running, it's cost you no money, and I promise you, because it will have purpose, because you like it, and because there's a revenue model behind it, you will do it, it will happen. So how to win in business? Let's say you've already got a company, you're not winning and you want to win, or you want to know the secret formula to winning. And having built nearly 19 companies, I'm on my 19th business now, how to win in business is actually very simple. Now I mentioned earlier having purpose and you personally being passionate about it, that's definitely going to give you an edge, because most people are not loving what they're doing. So if you are, you're already winning. But there is a secret formula to winning, and that starts with a couple of things. Number one,
Google 広告ならスマートな運用で売上アップを狙える。その理由はたくさんのユーザーの中からあなたの商品、
Why do you
サー
not
ビスに興味がある人
want
の手
to
に
go
広告を
to
表
the
示、
US? Just asking.
効率よ
I
く
have
成
to
果
go.
に
I'll
つ
be
ながる
back.
か
I
ら。
don't know if you're back or not, but hi, friend.
ビジネス
Just
を
not the right
加
fit
速
for
さ
us
せ
as
る
a
オン
family.
ライン
We
広告
moved
は
12 times to get here.
Google 広
It's a
告。
job that didn't make
詳しくは
sense.
こ
It's
ち
a
らから。
city we don't know. We'd have to rebuild an entire support network for 4 kids. And for the first time in many years, our kids are thriving out here in Japan, and living in a different cultural and language context is something we enjoy.
Delayed
Good question.
gratification.
Alright, let me rewind this. I know you might have heard it, but I want to
Get
learn.
what I mean though, right? Delayed gratification. Step 2 in starting a business is consider where the revenue is going to come from. Now, some people created a 50-50 business partner, I come on
There you go.
to later in the video.
Let's get to it.
It was literally the springboard to one of the most successful companies in Asia
Yeah, you love
in
this.
this space. So the key is not coming up with an original idea and trying to do it all on your own. The key is coming up with something you love into what you do, and perhaps if there's a gap within your ability to execute on what you love, find a partner. So for example, if you love writing, then write a book. And maybe you need to find a partner who can publish that book, or find a company that will publish that book, or get someone to help you, like an agent, find someone that will publish that book. And that's where it really begins. In the idea phase, it's got to link to your passion. And I'll come on to purpose later, but it's key. You won't be able to follow through, and probably won't be successful if you're not willing to do the thing that you're doing more often and all the time compared to other people. So, you figured out what you love doing, and now you have an idea. Now, the idea itself can evolve. From my point of view, when I started what I'm doing today, which is a platform to help you for free, the first thing I did was, in fact, a podcast. So the step after idea is step 1, execution. And execution involves
So we have
what is the
laterals.
first thing you can do to make your business idea come to life. And for me, in my example, it was a podcast. But for you, it might be a blog. It might be a LinkedIn post. It might be setting up a social media handle and starting to post up your photography. Whatever the first step execution is, do not make it too hard for yourself. In my case, sitting down, interviewing people I found interesting, recording it and putting it up would serve the purpose of giving people mentorship in a podcast for free, which was my first step in my mission in my recent business. So all I really did was get a microphone, sit down and record conversations. Now, if you go back and look at those very early podcasts, the execution was not brilliant. The guests were good, the execution was not great. I had a rubbish microphone, I had a rubbish camera, and I slowly improved. And step 1 is come up with a simple execution plan. Step 2 in starting a business is consider where the revenue is going to come from. Now, some people say you need this within the idea phase, and yes, you can put it within the idea phase, but sometimes revenue doesn't actually make itself clear until you start. So, an example, if you're a photographer and you think you're going to make your money charging by the hour for your photography skills, you're probably limiting yourself, right? So you're probably better off initially taking pictures of things you love and putting them up online and seeing if people would buy them, seeing if people would license the pictures, experimenting with revenue models and seeing what sticks. Sure, maybe people will book you by the hour, but why would you start off with a revenue model that limits yourself? So I think when building a business, the thing to really think about is not necessarily revenue, but experimenting with different ways to make money from the thing that you are doing. So again, when I launched Fluid, most companies charge by the hour for their marketing consultancy service. We didn't. We charged by the outcome of what we did. So if we helped a company be successful, sell more product, we took a percentage of those sales. Now, that was not part of most companies' business models, because most people start with an idea and then they do a revenue model and then they start. A famous quote is, everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face. And the truth is, when you launch a business, you just want to keep yourself nimble, like a boxer. You want to see what is going to be the best punch combination for you to make your business work. And finally, when starting a business, step 3 is you've got to make sure your purpose is strong. Now, you've made sure that you enjoy what you do, and that's great, because that's going to help you get up in the morning. But actually, I believe new businesses today need to think about what they're going to do to make a difference in the world. How are you going to make sure that people want to work with you? How are you going to make sure that what you're doing isn't just for profit? Because if it's just for profit, everybody that works for you is going to want more money. Everybody that's working with you is going to want to pay you less. But if you have a purpose bigger than yourself, and identify that purpose and install it in your business, I promise you, you won't be managing people anymore. One of the biggest stresses of building a company. You won't have to manage people because you will only have to manage purpose. Now I'm going to go into more depth how this all works, but a lot of what I've talked about here already has cost you no money. You haven't had to spend any money. Now even if your idea is to launch an app that costs £1 million to develop, start off with a service business, start off with a revenue-based model that can get you there. So an example is Airbnb. When they launched, they actually sold cereal boxes at conventions. It was enough to be similar to Airbnb because one of the first accommodation Airbnb ever sold was at conventions. People would go to see Obama speak, go and see different politicians speak at these conventions, and they would rent out rooms on Airbnb later. But initially, they sold cereal boxes, Obama reels, at this event, at these events, to get to know their customers, connect with their customers, have a conversation with their customers, and make money. And that is the money they use to initially get the business going. So we'll come on to other steps later now in the video about raising money and other ways to do this. But if you do these first few things, your business is up and running, it's cost you no money, and I promise you, because it will have purpose, because you like it, and because there's a revenue model behind it, you will do it, it will happen. So how to win in business? Let's say you've already got a company, you're not winning, and you want to win, or you want to know the secret formula to winning. And having built nearly 19 companies, I'm on my 19th business now, how to win in business is actually very simple. Now I mentioned earlier having purpose, and you personally being passionate about it, that's definitely going to give you an edge, whereas most people are not loving what they're doing. So if you are, you're already winning. But there is a secret formula to winning, and that starts with a couple of things. Number one, delayed gratification. Spelled completely wrong. Get what I mean though, right? Delayed gratification is the number one reason that businesses win. You don't rush to charge customers, for example. You let them help you succeed. So the first customer I ever got in my agency, Fluid, I actually did the work for free. Now a lot of people say don't do the work for free. I don't agree. I built up a relationship with that customer. I over-delivered when it was free. And that meant once they were happy, not only did they use me forever, for the 16 years that I ran that company, they also recommended me to everybody. They felt like they were part of my early journey. Getting your customers on side is another element of winning, but realizing that if you delay getting gratification, you will make more money. And there's so many examples of this. If you look at big businesses, they spent years making no money. And then when they had the system all in place, huge databases, for example, then they can monetize. And people don't wait long enough. The other thing you can do is a very strict moral code within your business, a culture.
Take a quick bow break. I'll be right back.
Every single time.
Keep listening to
You've
Mr.
got to make
Squibb.
sure that your
He's
culture
really smart.
in the company is client-centric. A good example of this is Amazon. I'm just saying that they do actually focus on their customers as a culture. And I think that a lot of people are too busy, for example, thinking about how they can get money out of their customer and not thinking how they can bring value. And if you want to win, bring value. You want loyalty, bring value. You want them to follow you, promote you, share you on their stories, care about you, talk about you when you're not in the room, then show them some love. It sounds simple, but people don't do it because they're too busy not waiting for the payoff and too busy not installing a culture of patience, a culture of caring about your customer. And then the final thing is luck. Now, luck is not a subjective thing. Luck, I have discovered, is hackable. And you can hack luck 3 ways. First, be persistent. And what I mentioned earlier about purpose and loving what you do will help you be persistent. You have to outlast other people. When I launched my company, Fluid, in Hong Kong, I had so many competitors. But slowly but surely, they all shut down, went bankrupt. They didn't care like I did. And I think that whole luck thing is about persistence. That's number 1. Number 2 in hacking luck is know your destination. What is success for you? What will make you happy? What do you want? Big company, small company? And by the way, a big company is much easier to run than a small company. Aim for a big company is my recommendation. But that's my opinion. It might not work for you. So I suggest you define success for yourself. Today, success for me is having the time to take my son to school and be able to pick him up. Is having time to do the exercise I want to do. That's how I define success. So I never sell hours. We'll come to that in a little bit, why you should never sell hours. But luck is hackable. You have to be persistent. You have to know your destination. And finally, you have to learn to take risk. Be careful with sayings out there trying to trick you into options that are not true. So the worst one is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That is not true. That is a lie designed to make you work hard. If it was true, every nurse in this country would be a millionaire. It is not true that working hard equals success. What equals success is taking risk. You have to learn to take risk. Lean into fear. Learn to love fear. Embrace it. And then you can take more risk. And the more risk you take, the luckier you get. Learn to build culture into your businesses about the long term, and learn to hack luck. You will win. The secret to it all is learning to accept that you could lose everything and it doesn't matter. You've got to be willing to risk it all. Take a chance and go for it. Do not rush. Do not see this as anything but a marathon. It's not a sprint. Enjoy the journey. Don't rush. No one can beat you if you do it. So delayed gratification is key. Brands like Facebook and Instagram, although I'm not a fan necessarily of these platforms, they personify this concept. They did build massive user bases, but they didn't monetize them at the beginning. They waited. They just kept building value in their platforms for the users, and more people kept signing up. And they didn't actually monetize for a very long time. I think Facebook was nearly 10 years before it started making money. And although I'm not suggesting you wait 10 years, and those companies have different investment structures, which we'll talk about a bit later, it is important to understand how important this is to building a successful long-term business. Do not think about making money straight up. Build a brand or a business. And those businesses like Facebook and Instagram, they waited a decade before they started monetizing. And as soon as they started monetizing, Facebook in particular, it started to decline as a brand. Less people liked it. Too many ads on the screen, too many annoying buttons that didn't have any relevance to them because they were suddenly trying to make their client happy, the advertiser, and no longer focused on the user in the same way. So be careful. But that is how you build massive economic moats. People like Google saying at the beginning, no revenue. YouTube at the beginning, no revenue. Focus on building something that has a value for people. Delayed gratification is one of the secret weapons to building a sustainable, large, and successful business.
What are we going to do next?
Next up, how to lose. It might sound like a strange title, but it's the number one thing I've noticed that people don't learn to do that doesn't allow them to be successful. This all stems back probably to school, where you were told that success was getting an A. It's not. Success is actually accepting failure, learning to bounce back from failure, embracing failure, having learnings from the businesses that I have been involved in that have failed, have allowed me to be successful. I guarantee you, if I hadn't lost £1 million doing comic book business, I wouldn't be rich or successful today. I needed to learn how to fail. I needed to accept losing. It's key. And so how do you build the stamina and the ability to lose? The first thing you realise, number one, don't let things own you.
Oh no, it's a commercial. No, my monetization. Stop it. No! Fortnite, you've ruined me. I have to get YouTube Premium now. It's over. How's it going, friend? Hi, I'm new here. Call me Ryan, my real name. Hello, Patricia Ryan. Nice to meet you. So, welcome, new here person. My name's Joe. Welcome to the Frenzy of my world as I learn how to raise 4 kids in Tokyo. This is today's episode. This is DadBod. So, I normally work out. I'm a larger, heavier guy, but I like to go on long distance runs with people. So, I wear a GoPro on my head and go running. And then 3 days a week, I do strength and conditioning. And what I've found in the past, I used to just live stream fitness and chat with people, and that takes quite some time. It's still fun. But I've been using the morning to listen to other experts in business and entrepreneurship. You don't, man. No. Okay, Israel or Palestine? That's not how it works. Well, I mean, Israel and Palestine is a complicated situation. It's a multi-generational geopolitical issue. So to just fragment it down to pro-Israel or pro-Palestine doesn't really make sense to me. That said, there's a lot of issues that polarized it. Baby Akio's supposed to be taking a nap, and now he's fussing a little bit. But anyway, today what I'm doing is something called Gym Crush, where I basically find like a leader in entrepreneurship and just play them in the background as a podcast so I can like listen and learn, because I'm going to start a business in Japan, and then I'll work out at the same time. How many people in your house? We have 6 total. So we have 4 kids, ages 7, 5, 3, and newborn over there in a chair over there. And then my wife and myself. Yeah, so I'm just working out. I'm alone. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, everyone's in a different season of life, right? So I gotta do my wrist breakers stretch next. So I'm gonna turn back on Mr. Squibb, keep working out, and then I'll check chat between lifts and things. But today we have a nice mix of stuff. I have a little cheat sheet of what we're working on today. It should be nice and busy. So we have, push-ups, hamstring bridge, squat to single arm curl press, half kneeling single arm press, lateral box step up U, and forearm planks. So it should be a good time. All right, turn on Mr. Squibbly so I can learn something. And we'll do our wrist breakers. Wish me luck, because I have exams tomorrow. I'm not in middle school. Okay, yeah, good luck, Fred. Hope that works out well for you, buddy. All right, let's keep
You
working.
let things own you. You are controlled
So I'm gonna
by the
stretch my
very
wrist
things meant
next.
to bring you pleasure. You have to learn to lose those things and not care about those things. The second thing, to lose, you need to let your short-term ego go. Now, ego is actually a very powerful motivator, and there are different types of ego. The ego I'm talking about here is driving around in the right car to give an image to people that don't care about you that you are successful. Do not worry about this. Learn to enjoy looking like you're a loser. Let people underestimate you. It is so powerful to be underestimated by your competition, even by your customers, because if they think you can't deliver and you do, then brilliant. Do not worry about losing. Learn to be
I'm still here, don't worry. Yeah, you're good.
That's
I'm
why
still here too.
80% of A students end up working for D students. Because A
He's
students
between
are
sad and
scared
nap,
to
so let's see if we
lose.
can get
They
one of
don't
them.
want to lose. They always want to get an A. They always want to be seen as the smartest person in the room. Don't worry about it. Learn to lose. Learn to embrace getting a D. And getting a D in business means take
Might bring him up to Felicia.
your time. Don't let someone else decide whether or not you're successful or not. Do not let
I gotta
anybody
figure out how
else
to calculate
tell you
45
how to do things.
pounds into
Ironically,
kilograms.
Power up your ego in a different way. An internal ego
Let's see.
that tells you you're not a loser. You know where you're going.
1 second.
No matter what people judge you based on the car that you're driving, or where
Right, so
you're
20
living,
kilograms.
or what you do with your day,
So
don't let
45
them decide
is
that
gonna
you're a
be
loser. Let them think
20
whatever they want.
kg.
Learn to love
We'll do 2 sets.
losing. Learn to
Okay.
embrace failure.
I have a crush on someone
Promise you.
nice.
If
It's
you
exciting.
think that the worst is if you try
I
something
got a
and
wife,
you
she's
get
cool.
it
I had a
doesn't
crush
matter
on
if
her
you
for a
win,
while.
you will succeed. I guarantee it. Next up, I want to teach you something practical. How to do a mind map. So many people teach you in business to do a business plan. Forget that shit. There is no use for business. What you want to do is map out where your business could go, how it could go, and understand different directions that you should take your business. And I'm going to go through how to do a mind map next. Now, I've never seen anyone teach anybody how to do a mind map. And the reason I think that no one teaches this is because there's no template to sell you. There's no product to sell you around a business plan that's a million ways of money out of you. And none of it works. This business plan thing actually kills companies. I've seen people
10,
write a
15,
massive business plan,
20.
stick to it, and die. A mind map, however, will do nothing to do and
red
actually
spots,
leads
the
you
single
liberal
arm
and free
curl
to
raise.
explore where the business can go. And it's so simple. It starts in the middle with your hobby, whatever that is.
The spicy salmon.
Second part of my map.
Her name is
business.
Ellie. She's cute, kind of a little bit shy. Is
Can't
it
spell,
mutual?
but I'm
Well, yeah,
happy
it's hard to
with
figure out if
that.
it's
Yeah,
mutual until you talk to someone.
What is
So,
your business? So what is your
we're
hobby?
working out and
What would you
listening
love to
to
do? And
entrepreneurial
ideally, it now
business
links to
advice,
the
so it's kind of
Now,
a
the
mixed
business,
bag.
and I'm
I
going to
gotta
use
learn and
my
I
company
gotta
as an
work.
example. Hopefully,
Then I can chat a little
translate
bit.
into what maybe
All
your
right.
idea is. But in my business, which is what we call free humanity,
うちの子会社みたい。かわいい。
かわいいね。
こうすると。
Taking notes, let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a startup in Tokyo.
So I gotta figure out how to run a business. I'm learning from people right
and
now.
that probably gives it away what we want to do.
I'm in study mode.
Do what they love.
As
So
a
within free
32-year-old.
humanity, this is what I did when I first started the business 4 years ago.
So we
I
got
looked
squat,
at different
curl,
ways
press.
that I can make the business work. So, off here, I
I
wrote
hate this.
podcast.
Everything's stiff.
Actually, as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the first things I actually did. So for a podcast, what comes off it? Well, I built a network.
hammer down. 6.
I'm now doing a mind map for something I actually have already done to illustrate how a mind map works when you're building out a business. So one of the benefits of doing a podcast was a network. In my case, I managed to interview over 200 of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, which are now part of my life and help me with what I'm doing, help you on helpbank.com. That was one of my ambitions, build my mind map network. The second thing was brands. I realised with a podcast, I could probably make revenue from brands.
5 will do.
Now, with a mind map, you can get bigger and bigger and bigger mind maps. There's no stop.
Let me get the other side and then I'll check chat, okay?
It's like your brain is infinite in its ability to think. Mind map is also infinite. And when I wrote the original mind map out for my business, I thought brands, and then I started listing them. So in my case, GoDaddy, Type Banking, Adobe. These were brands that I felt were a fit with what I wanted to do. Give people the ability to start their own business, be free, do what they love. So I listed out all the brands that I could work with. I also listed in my original mind map, and I didn't do it at the beginning, but it ended up becoming part of what I did, was an app. And an app that would focus on free help for people.
50 is right.
Now at the time, I didn't have the name that I now have, which is helpbank.com, but I knew that I needed to build a scalable way of giving people knowledge. Now what I didn't know back then that I know now, a quick bit of insight, is that app is overused as a word. It's actually not an app that you need to build at the beginning for most platforms. You need to build a web-based platform. Why? Well, if you build an app, you have to go in the App Store or the Google Play Store, you get restricted by one of those two locations. So people that have a Samsung phone
Let me
can't
check up on
access the
chat.
App Store
So I'll
to
pause
download
Mr.
your
Squibb
app.
for a
What?
second. Hi. Yo, I tried my best to make a Riz. Okay, here's the Riz. My Wi-Fi has 4G. But my life is for you. Is that okay? What do you mean? That's so cool. What does that startup do? Well, I'm interested in creating a startup that optimizes for fatherhood. So there's a lot of algorithms on YouTube, TikTok, all that kind of stuff that optimize for attention and pulling all of our attention away from actually being present in the real world and connecting. I have 4 kids, and like I'm a global medtech entrepreneur, so I've worked for Johnson & Johnson for a decade on surgical robotics and in a whole bunch of digital and AI and VR kind of stuff. So I've worked around technology a lot, and I've also lived in different cultural contexts. I'm based in Japan with my family, and I've just noticed in the last few years like how difficult it is to still come home and be present for my kids, which is really, like, for me, one of the core values of my life. So whenever your actions start to drift outside of your value set, there's a lot of dissonance and disconnect and like discontentment. And I know there's just millions of dads that feel the same way in different cultural contexts. So I'm interested in developing a technical solution that enables people to come home at their best as a father. And the technical embodiment of that is still to kind of be determined. That's why it's a startup. Dude, that sounds so cool. If I had money, I would invest. No way, Spicy Salmon. Yeah, I appreciate it, friend. I'm looking at making a core group of people that would be kind of like the initial community that is using the platform. So creating kind of like a group of champions that put money forward to join the beta community, and that's where like the seed funding comes from. So rather than getting equity in the business, allowing people to front money to get more presence as a father, right? Like if you put money in, you're shaping what the technology becomes. You get to review it, explore it, let us know. Is it okay if I was 17, she was 14? That gap's a little wide. Like there's a big difference between, for instance, like a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old. As you get older, the age gap matters less. But I would say in the middle school, high school range, like you should probably try to date within your class, possibly a class up or down. In college, the spread matters a lot less. College dating high school, that's a mess, right? So that would be kind of my initial perspectives. But I dated my wife in high school, but I was also in high school. We were in the same grade. No, that's a crime for her. Oh yeah, you get into the statutory. Not that we encourage that at all. But yeah, Spicy Salmon, feel free to like subscribe because I'm going to be making a lot of content about that startup. I haven't started it yet. I have to get some things going legally. All right, we got a second set of squat to curl press, which should suck. I'm going to turn on Mr. You already did? What? Thank you so much, friend. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we're in a huge transition, and if you explore our page, I've made around 1,500 short form pieces of content. Most of it's snarky engineering content. There is a new series rolling out if you just go to our video section called Moving to Japan. We've already moved 12 times to get to Japan, but we're moving a 13th time to stay in Japan as a family. Oh no, I caught another stream. What's up, Lucius Snow? How's it going? Guess what? I'm your old fans. Oh really, Trista? Hi, Norman. Alright, let's do another set, and I'll turn on Mr. Squibb for our business advice, so that way at least you have something to listen to besides me breathing. We're going to drop it to 40s.
Why would you, when you launch something, restrict people from getting access to it? Plus, if it's web-based, people can just log in straight from a web browser, any web browser. That aside, I realised in my early days I needed to do an app, and from that I would do free help, and from that I would be able to connect the network that I built in the podcast to the free help. So the people that I interviewed in the podcast, the knowledge that I was capturing in their case, I can connect now, that network being built by the podcast, to the help on the platform. This is how it's actually played out. The next thing I spent time thinking about was team. And on a mind map, I thought about who I actually need. Now, because I knew I was going to do a podcast, I knew that I needed an editor. But I also know my weaknesses, so I know I need an accountant. Someone who's going to take care of the admin. These are things that I don't enjoy doing, so I know what to do. But I also realised with the network that I built through the podcast that I can have partners. So it's not just employees, but partners I can link to the team. Again, working with the people that I'd spoken to on the podcast, I could connect them. People that were going to work on the app, I could connect them. Although they're not necessarily on my payroll, they are people that perhaps are connected to my mission, want to help people, and they can become part of my extended team. Now, within the team structure, I can also start thinking about things like if I have an editor, maybe that editor hires editors. Or I hire editors, but you can start breaking down what you actually need within your team. Right now, as a mind map, you start, in my opinion, with what your hobbies are, what you enjoy doing, that they're building a business around it, and then you're thinking about different things that this business is going to need. Now, one of the things that I spent a lot of time thinking about that I haven't yet done but will be coming soon in my platform was what else I could do that would scale the business, give it what it needed resource-wise, without necessarily me being involved in it. And at that time, back 4 years ago, the word was merchandising. So I wrote down merchandising. Now, I think it's actually evolved now, it's beyond merchandising, but from that I wrote down, of course, what everyone was doing 4 years ago, t-shirts and caps, that sort of stuff, right? Stuff that, you know, maybe the word free humanity would look pretty cool on. And I thought about, in those days, things like sweets and products that perhaps we could launch. And I wrote down basically any way, merchandise-wise, we could make money. Now, what's interesting is I'm about to launch a sweet brand called Busy's. It's taken 4 years to get to this part of the mind map, but it was
Ooh,
on there.
battery saver.
Always on there. And ironically, when I was building team, if anyone said to me when I was interviewing them, they had some experiences.
Let me plug in a battery or a cable because you're dying. You're slowly fading into the cool dark abyss. So we got our first set done. Write that down. We did 40s. That was 8 reps. X1. So we did 2 sets, one with 45s, which is just a tinge too heavy. Let's see. Scroll through chat. High school be like, I have 8 more GCSs. Oh my goodness, just call me Ryan. Ryan, you're the best. High school be like. Been a while though. How's it going? It's going well. Getting ready to start a startup. Good. Exam board. Absolutely insane. 14. You guys already done the exam? What's a GCSE? 3 papers per exam. Ew. Hey, you can have long hair and be a dude. Be a girl, you can do whatever you want. Alright, let's see what we got next. We have push-ups. That's gonna suck. What kind of push-ups should we do? Since we actually have a happy, healthy, engaged chat for once, because I'm trying to do YouTube shorts instead of longs, and it seems to be working because I don't need a thumbnail. I will give you 3 choices to make me suffer across the push-up spectrum. We can do standard push-ups, and thanks for the 2 likes on the live. Appreciate that, friends. We got 4 people viewing. This is so fun. We could do standard push-ups, which I guess would be option 1. Option 2, we could do military push-ups. Option 3, we could do, it's like a mix, like one's standard and one's military, and then we flip each rep. Those suck. That'd be option 3. And I guess option 4, we could do moving push-ups, which also suck. So you all decide. Ryan, Spicy Salmon, Norman. There's 3 of you, which means you can tie break each other. Option 2 for military from Spicy Salmon, very exciting. Let's see what else comes in. Oh wait, this is so fun. Not at all excited. You guys, please stop saying exams because you make them scared. Norman has also chosen option 2. Oh, fine, I hate military. All right, well, Tristia Ryan's vote doesn't matter. I mean, you can still vote for giggles, but you know. 2 and 2 is not going to be broken. All right. What's our target? Military sucks. I can only get to about 25 standard. Military, I want to be done by around 6, but I can only push towards 12-ish. So we'll try to go beyond 12. We'll see. I can always drop to knees if I need to. Was I a mod here before? I can't remember. I believe you are. Let's see. Do you have the power? Congratulations, you're a mod. You have the power. You're a standard moderator. Congratulations. Oh.
I'm already not happy.
Okay. Let's turn back on Mr. Squibb so you can listen to business advice. All right.
Sweet business.
Love
I made
this
a note
guy.
and kept them as someone maybe could help us in the future. Same with merchandise. Every time I spoke to anybody that was perhaps looking at starting a t-shirt brand or working on building product, I'd see if perhaps they wanted to work with me in the future. Because once you know in your mind map one of the things that's going to come up in the future, you can look out as you're building other things for the very thing that's going to help make that happen. So this is a mind map. It is literally mapping out all the different things and different ways your business can go. It's fun, it's simple, there's no template you can download in case someone or you don't need it. And the beautiful thing about a mind map is you're not fixed. You can start adding bubbles and adding things as things evolve, as people and the world change. You can start adding things and adding, connecting the different dots between parts of your business. Something a 20-page document will never let you do because it's too easy. So that's a mind map. Only a useful practical tool for you going forward, how to find purpose. Now, this word purpose might sound woo-woo. They don't teach you at school, in my opinion, for a reason. If you understand purpose, you're very unlikely to work for someone else.
You got 20.
Purpose is a very personal thing. You can find other people with purpose. You can find
They're
your
fast
private
though, so they don't count.
But finding purpose is not an easy thing. and it's not something you've been given any of the tools in which to make happen. So what is the process in finding purpose?
Oh, that was awesome. Oh, that sucked. That was very, very unfortunate for me. Okay, we did military. I'm writing it down. Military, 20 reps, X1. Let's see if we can get 20 reps again. I need to recover. Hey, my teacher's texting me. She said, you ready? Be like, nah, I'm gonna fail. Lower her expectations. And then she'll be surprised when she grades it. This has gotta be illegal. I don't know what's going on with Tricia. Mom told my teacher to have my number. What's going on? You're getting so much trouble if you did that in the UK. Spicy Salmon's also in the UK. We got a lot of UK folk here today. This is exciting. Apparently it's prime time. It's late at night. Y'all need to watch somebody sweat, I guess. Alright, let's turn on Squibb. I'll prepare myself for one more set of this stupid exercise. Alexa, what time is it?
Good afternoon, Joseph. The time is 4:51 p.m.
Oh, we're making great time. What? 4:51 p.m. It is not 4:51 p.m. It's 5:51 a.m. Derp. You need to go study, so... Yeah, but you could study and just turn the volume off, right? Give me them views. I'm just kidding, Norman. I'm not that desperate. Too early to sleep, too late to revise. This is so fun. Alright, let's listen to Mr. Squibb.
And it's a very obvious step that people do not do think about it.
Smart idea.
Now,
Thanks, Norman.
the problem is,
Dude, the
you
alerts,
say you're thinking
so
about
important.
purpose, people might laugh at you. Other people
Pay
might
my rent.
silly jokes out there like that, and they'll throw you off. Or purpose will get so complicated in your head because you've not really thought about it before, you'll give up and go back to your old ways. You need to think about purpose. What is your purpose? We used to live in tribes of 5,000, and we used to work on a method called give without take. Not give and take. We used to help each other because it made our tribe better, not because we
really got 20 of these things?
You ask me for help, I will give it to you for free. The world will be a better place. I get better at giving you that help for free. I become an expert at giving that help for free. Eventually, when I'm not in the room, people will talk about me and what I do because I become so good at helping people. But I think today that doesn't fit the narrative of working at a call centre and picking up the phone and doing what you're told in the factory that Henry Ford created. So when the school system was developed, the word purpose wasn't included in any of it. They asked the wrong question. What are you going to do when you grow up, is what schools say. That's not the right question. What you should be asked is, what problem are you going to solve? So the second step in thinking about...
You can do it, we just don't want to do it, that's all it is.
...is what problem matters to you.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with physical products. It's Amazon's other company, Audible. Audible pays me $8,000 to $10,000 every single month in passive income. And I'm not the only one. People like Katrina and Carla, Elena, Renee, all making thousands of dollars a month in passive income using the same system.
Just this past month, I reached $8,000 in revenue.
That
and
first
I'm
round
on track to
destroyed
reach
me.
$10,000 in
Yeah.
revenue this month.
I've been able to go from 0 to 22K in 7 months.
Oh, I don't need to worry about Audible.
Now at first, no.
Let me take notes. Write it down. Take notes. And then I'll check chat. Let's see. Military says second rep. We did 7 reps. X1. 13 reps. X1. Knees. And there's nothing wrong with knees. As I squeeze out more reps, it just reduces the weight. So it makes it possible to get more. Right? Modifying's not bad. Go study. You guys still here? I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. No way. I want to make passive income. Really? Dude, Norman, you should join my business. I'm making a startup. It's going to be set up. I have a co-founder that hasn't been disclosed yet. We're each going to take 25%. Then there's going to be a 50% equity pool, and folks can work at like 5 to 10% FTE, which just means full-time effort, which just means like you have your day job that pays your benefits, or you're a student or whatever, right? But then that little extra effort under the moonlight you put towards the startup, and then every quarter, if the startup becomes profitable, then each quarter the total profit gets split across the equity. So you have a 50% pool that it goes to. And then eventually people could be making enough off of it that they could work full-time on it if they want. It's all passion driven. I don't want to go to high school tomorrow. Yeah, but you should just do stuff you don't want. All right. Are you making a start? I am. So it's called, in order to stay in Japan, there's a pathway to get a visa called a startup visa through the city of Shibuya, of all things. Gives you a year to lay the groundwork for a startup, and then you have to transition into a business manager visa, and it has to be like profitable and stuff. So what I'm interested in doing is creating a platform that optimizes for fatherhood. So basically it's called Papa in Japanese. Pa, it'll be cool. But basically it is all about like bringing dads home in the moment when like, the moment we're trying to create is like when you get home from work and your kids run to you. And over time you can lose that as a father, or you lose the ability to be there in that moment because your brain's pulled in so many distractions, whether it's towards work or whether it's towards mindless scrolling and all these other things. So that's kind of what I'm working towards. It's a smart idea. Exercising to get the blood pumping so you can think, listening to a finance podcast for ideas, and speaking to chat for confidence. Dude, Spicy Salmon, thank you so much, because this is an experiment. This is the first time of, I don't know if you saw the title of it, because I don't know what short shows up. The title of this is just called Gym Crush, because I have DadBod Fitness, so I have a whole half marathon plan that people could do for free. Hey, Talk Plays Games, Simon Name, what's up? What's up, friend? Thank you so much for the sub. We are working out, that's why I'm sweating. I'm listening to a guy named Simon Squibb, who seems like a smart guy on a podcast, and chatting for confidence. Do you need any programmers? Yes, I do, Norman. And the model is that people could join at 5 to 10% effort, and if they work at that rate for a year for free, then they vest, which means every quarter, if there's profits, they get their slice of the 50%, whether there's 5 people in that equity pot or 100, right? But the idea is, like, a lot of people that I've talked to that are working in startups, they have to walk on water, which means they have to like quit their job, go all in at a startup at a salary that doesn't pay the bills, no medical, with like equity, and 95% of these businesses fail. So it's really like a very challenging model for people to step into, and that model blocks out people that are more seasoned in their career, that have families, that can't take that risk. I'm taking that risk because J&J is not providing me an opportunity to stay, right? So like I'm being pushed out of J&J. I have 10 years of experience, and it's like I'm taking the jump with a full family, but how do I make that jump more accessible to other people, kids in college? Well, you're not a kid anymore. You're a kid to me because I'm 32, right? Bro, send love emoji. But hey, Tuck Play Games, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it, friend. Got lots of content here for you. I'm working at a startup next year, although they are getting past the startup title now. Nice, so they're on the rise, so they can actually hire. That's good. I'm definitely going to study software development at uni. Not sure what specifically yet. The computer science is so interesting. Spicy Salmon, you should join the Discord. I'm collecting cool people. Norman is one of those cool people. He's been with the community for almost like 2 years, I think now. Started on Twitch, and now he's here on YouTube. All right, we're stalling. We have hamstring bridges. I'm going to turn on Mr. Squibb so we can learn a little bit more. And maybe I will find a way in future lives to at least link the video we're listening to so that y'all can look it up. But the guy's Simon Squibb, spelled just like it sounds, S-Q-U-I-B-B. He's fantastic if you're looking to learn. Which uni? We can speak about it in Discord DMs if you like. Nice. Do it. All right, here's Mr. Squibb. I'm going to work out. Y'all are great.
You might spring to mind. If something has jumped into your mind, then
I'm going to get some bands.
Explain how you action that. But if it hasn't jumped into your mind, start thinking about What problems have actually affected you, big or small? Now, it can be really simple, like the banks aren't open early enough for you, or the swimming pool you wanted to go to doesn't let you swim the time you want. It might sound silly. You start thinking about problems that bother you, and your brain wakes up. The entrepreneur muscle in your brain that helps you figure out how to solve that problem. Now, it might be that the bank's not opening on time isn't a problem you're going to solve. But if your brain starts thinking about that problem and how you can solve it, you might begin to understand how to find purpose. The third thing you can do is start breaking down
30 on my hips.
your life and that purpose.
And we're going to try to go up, hold, 2, 3, down.
What you
Up,
do in your
hold,
day
2, 3,
and
down.
your
Should
actual
suck.
purpose is often easier than you think. I've met hundreds and hundreds of people who tell me what their dream is,
We got to get a nice
and
squeeze
it
of
turns
the
out
glue.
that their dream is often just 3% difference from their existing life. You know, between chimpanzees and humans, there's only 3% difference in the DNA. Not if, for example, I know someone who wants to do their own catering business, they're working in someone else's catering business. They're just missing this video in their life to figure out how to turn what they feel is their purpose to make cakes for someone and make them smile and own that business into that business. They're just missing knowledge. They're also not realizing that actually their purpose is nearly there. In fact, I would argue that the system sometimes wants you to feel like you're getting enough satisfaction that you don't need to make a change. So in other words, if you are working for someone else baking cakes, even if they're not using the ingredients you would use, or they don't care about the customer the same way that you do, at least you are baking. But you've got to break free from this thinking. You've got to realise that if you're going to do your purpose, you have to learn what I said earlier, take risks, but most importantly, to truly know yourself. I once interviewed a billionaire on my podcast and I asked him, how did you build your intuition? And he said to me, I used to go and ask my mum or my dad a question when I was young, and they both used to say to me, you know the answer. You know it. Never gave him the answers. So he had to go away and figure out the answers for himself. And that in itself is the point I'm trying to make here. Woo! You have a purpose. Yes, I can help you get there. But you need to ask yourself, what is that purpose? How are you going to make it happen? How are you going to get there? And you do it. Thinking about it. Asking yourself not what you're going to do.
Let's take our notes and I'll check
but
chat.
what problem you want to solve, and then matching your life to that problem. The final thing I'll say, you don't have to do this thing on your own. Let's say you care about climate change. And I would just say, we don't need to save the planet, we need to save humans. When the humans are gone, the planet will be fine. But let's just say you care about saving the planet.
Slipped a little hot take in there.
You work with other people doing something in this space. The only thing I would say to you is make sure you ask for equity wherever you work. I'll come to that a bit later, how you do that.
Alright, let me pause him, check chat, do another rep. Because I don't know if you've ever. Alright, I'm out. Bye, Goji. Boom, boom. I'm Godzilla. I'm gonna destroy your chat. I don't know how to do. Oh, thanks for sharing the link, Norman. I don't know how to do automations on YouTube yet. Like, I don't know if I could put my Nightbot on YouTube as a chat thing. Well, that's an interesting statement. Don't go! Now 3 people. I'm on Discord. TheSpicySalmon, I'll call you Sam. This is hilarious. Appreciate all you. Feel free to blow the Discord up. It's made. It was too big. It's too complicated. I have to remake it in the future, but feel free to distribute across the channels and have fun. It's going to get a full refresh after I finish transitioning from J&J at the end of June, because I need to start connecting people into the vision of Papa. All right, so that was set 1, red and black band, 30, 12 reps. That sucked for hamstring, all glutes. And then we're gonna do another set. I think I'll go up to 40, which should also suck. But yeah, I built the Discord. I tried to make it fancy, but I built it as if we had like a huge community using it, and there's just like a couple people so far. So I need to simplify it and then re-expand it later. That makes sense. On the Discord, I can't speak. Well, you might have to like go and click the little emojis to unlock different channels. It's kind of, like I said, it's complicated. Thank you, Norman. Your tech support's right here. Let's keep listening to Squibb and do another rep before I have to go be a dad and feed my children. It's like 6.
Can be still a way for you to have the life you want. You can find your purpose and then go work with someone that's actually doing it So in my organisation, behind the camera right now, the whole group of people, talented people, that care about the same thing as me. So they can go off and help people in their own way, like they want to, or we can come together as a team and solve the problem together that people don't have the knowledge they need to do what they love. What I've noticed is that once you find your purpose, and this is what you need to be careful
We want to go big.
is that you don't think that it's such a big
Should we go
purpose,
big
like
and slightly
solving the
irresponsible?
world's
Let ego
problems,
take
that you
over a
don't
little
do
bit.
it. You can team up with other people to do it. And I'll tell you, 1
Fine,
plus
you convinced
1
me.
equals 11. Remember,
5 pounds, 20
once you
kilos
know
for all
your
you
purpose,
metric folk
you
out
can
there.
seek out people and communities and in old days tribes to help you go and fix this problem with other people. If you don't know what that purpose is, you won't do this and you'll get stuck working
This is
on
all
someone
stupid.
else's purpose, someone else's destiny.
Getting better sucks.
Getting
Getting stronger sucks.
How to find a co-founder. Now, if you're someone that likes to work alone, you can perhaps skip this bit. But I would say to you before you do, make sure you understand the power of a co-founder.
Throw your heels
Sometimes
towards your
we're
butt
caught
to
in our
get
own
your hamstring.
bubble. We think we know what we know, but you don't know
Oh,
what
wait,
you don't
did I
know.
do all this
So
wrong?
be cautious.
Oh,
when you
I've been
skip
doing
this
glute
section. You're
raises.
absolutely
Why?
sure that a co-founder cannot bring you value. I will tell you first up why a co-founder can bring you value. It's a bit like if you get a gym membership, you probably don't go to the gym. But if you have a buddy who goes to the gym every morning, you often have accountability and you go. For me, that's one of the #1 reasons I love having a co-founder. Now, there is a counter-argument to having a co-founder you'll hear from many people, which is, well, why would you give up 50% of your company to have a co-founder? I personally would rather have 50% of a business I enjoy that's successful than 100% of a nightmare and a failure. And I honestly think, with all my heart, that if you get a co-founder, your life is better. How do you get a co-founder and what should you look out for is something I'm now going to cover. But I want to just say, you have to think carefully about the equity structure. And later in this video, I'm going to talk about equity. It's going to be important. It's going to connect back to this. But for now, I'm just going to talk in this bit about how to get a co-founder. Now, the first step is to identify what I said earlier, which is, what do you love to do?
フルリモートで働く活躍するプログラミングスキルを習得してください。こんにちは。僕は31歳からプログラミングを始め、今では独立。
By the way, my YouTube ads are in Japanese because I live in Japan.
10歳から働いているフルリモートエンジニアです。ユキヒロと言います。僕は大学を卒業してから31歳までずっと営業職一本で働いてきましたが、
Yeah, I've made.
休みの時間はもちろん家族や子供との時間。
Oh, you made one with joinable rolls? Yeah, that's what I was working on. TheSpicySalmon. Ryan's still loading. Nice. I'm gonna take my notes. Laughing out loud. Do we want to skip this Japanese ad? Fading, friends. I did all that wrong. It was supposed to be a hamstring bridge. I did glute bridges, but whatever.
Hate and love, right? Hate and love. Now, once you've identified what you hate to do and what you love to do, you can
Yeah, let me take
identify
my notes.
what is the perfect co-founder. Because you want someone that has the opposite skill to you, but, and this is very important when looking for a co-founder, I'm going to put it as #2, has the same moral code. This process of finding a co-founder is pretty much the process of probably finding a partner in life. You're going to spend a lot of time with this person is going to become literally your business life partner. And if you do it right, it is for life. Like I have in business, done businesses with people, and even when I sold that
There we
company,
got half kneeling single arm press, which
is
should
a
suck.
lifelong partnership.
You
And so
retracted a
you
message?
want to
Why are you
make
holding
sure
out on us?
You're honest and clear about what you hate doing and what
Oh,
you
lots
love
of
doing,
love.
so that the person comes in and works with you, doesn't question you and cross over.
Yeah,
with
it's
you,
where you kneel and
makes you
press
like
up,
your area and
basically.
gives you
No,
respect.
I did
Equally,
curl
you
to
have the same
press.
with what they do. You
Here's
write
one.
down exactly in detail
Let's do it this way.
what this person looks like.
Let's see if I could just do.
And I would go as far as to say,
Well, let's try
you
40.
write down how tall they are,
Let's get
what they look like, how they speak, their background.
Never heard
their
that before,
from,
but I
everything
don't
you
know,
could
it
possibly
works.
think of. Just
Lots
as you're
of
picking
love.
a partner in life. What is
You
it?
normally send that with like the cat
Write down
emoji,
every
right?
detail. The reason I say,
little
the
cat
more
hug.
detailed you are with it, the more likely you are to manifest it. You aren't going to be looking out for something unless you make it very clear what you're looking for. I mean, it's the red car theory, right? If I suddenly tell you the words red car, you're probably going to see a lot of red cars. But if I don't mention red cars, you probably haven't seen one at all today.
So we're just gonna be a meal.
So, you've identified what you love doing and what you don't love doing. You've identified your own.
You're gonna hear Akio fuss, he's fine.
I can go into it a little bit more.
He's just starting to wake up, so I'm gonna cry a little bit. It's normal.
Whenever I'm trying to find out whether or not someone's good, I don't care about money. I care about reputation. So I don't want to accidentally end up working with someone that all they really care about is money, and I have this test to check. I will say to them, what if, from this day until you're 70, so let's say you're 30 now, in the next 40 years, you'll have the most amazing life. 3 houses, 1 in New York, 1 in Hong Kong, 1 in London. Anywhere you go, people will love you, private jets, everything you need for the next 40 years. That's your life. And in 40 years' time, however, there is a catch. You'll get to 70, and then everyone will find out that you're a financial fraud, that you tricked people to get here, and that your life eventually will be very different. People will look at you differently. When you die,